It's been 3 years since that day. I still thought about what happened every single day, but I was so sure it was over. Then came the day I knew my life was finished. I was on my way to work on a normal day. I'd walk about 5 blocks to the copy shop. It was nice to live so close to work that I didn't even need to buy a car. I never thought I'd need one. If I had one, I would have never seen him that day. Or at the very least, I could run him over. I was walking the neighborhood he grew up in and made a mistake of walking across the street from his old house. Every other house on the block was pristine and well-maintained, but Jeff's old home was decayed and rotted. No one ever wanted to touch the place. It was marked by human tragedy. Everyone who lived there was dead, and the very air around it felt possessed. A chill ran up my spine just walking past it. I'd normally never go near the place, and I shouldn't have that day, but I couldn't walk away from what I thought I saw. It was far away and out of focus, but I could never mistake the sight of Jeff's corpse. It looked like he was standing there in the window, looking right at me. Against my better judgment, I approached the old house and looked inside. I could have sworn I saw him. He was standing all the way in the back of the house, but I could recognize him clear as day. He looked just like he did back in the pit. The tattered clothes, the white skin, the messy hair, the black rings around his eyes, and the furious, hateful look on his face. I'll never understand how, but I could make out every detail on his face perfectly. His face was covered in hideous scars of various lengths and sizes, the biggest being 2 symmetrical markings ripped all the way across both his cheeks, forming a makeshift smile. It wouldn't have fooled anyone, though. Jeff wasn't happy, and looking at his nightmare's visions for even a second would have made me explicitly clear the markings and scars looked to be self-inflicted, as if Jeff was so anxious to get all the hate out, he had to carve himself up. I was completely frozen. I wasn't sure if what I was seeing was real or just a hallucination. It certainly wouldn't be the first time. The trauma for what happened all those years ago left me in a bad way. My state of mind had become so fragile that the slightest of noises could make me jump. I had nightmares every night about him. I heard and seen things that weren't there, but never this vividly, and never for this long. The cold, long stare was not broken by me, but by the figure that resembled Jeff with complete apathy. He turned around and exited out the back door of the house. Curiosity got a vice grip on me. It was stupid to go back there and try and look for him. It was stupid to hop over the fence and into the backyard. And it was really stupid to poke my head and look around.
Don't go in there.
It was a deep, raspy voice. It practically growled at me. My heart skipped a beat. I snapped back away from the door as fast as I could and looked behind me. There was nothing. Almost immediately, my common senses returned, and I realized nothing good could come from standing around anymore. I ran away from the old house as fast as I could, like I was trying to outrun some predatory animal. I made it all the way to the far corner of the next block cover before I stopped to catch my breath. Jeff was nowhere to be seen, but I knew he hadn't left. I couldn't see him, but I could feel his eyes on me, like they were burning holes in my skin. I decided that I couldn't leave myself open anymore. I had to take the bus to work. I needed big metal walls to protect me and huge crowds of people around me. More than anything, I needed some sense of normalcy, a clear sign that I was still in reality. I waited at the bus stop, fidgeting around and looking for every single direction, just waiting for Jeff to pop out of a bush or from right behind me. I couldn't find him anywhere, though. When the bus arrived, I practically shoved 2 people out of the way and tossed my fare into the bucket like it was on fire. I made the mistake of taking a seat by the window. Because of this, I had the misfortune of seeing Jeff one more time. He was standing at the far end of the street, glaring at me, maintaining perfect eye contact with me, as if he was staring right into my soul and snatching all the intimate little details of my life that I didn't want anyone else to see. As the bus slowly pulled away, he made an obscene gesture at me and slowly walked away. He wasn't frustrated because he couldn't catch me. He wasn't angry that I escaped. He was in perfect control. He was letting me leave. He was practically toying with me. The very next day, Jeff killed his first victim, a dear friend who I hadn't spoken to in years. Her murder made it all too clear that Jeff was real and he was coming for me soon.